Welcome back to the Grad Centric Podcast. My name is Jason Anderson with Grad Metrics, and you have joined us for episode 41, where we're going to talk about managing student loan debt as nurses. Now, nursing is a great profession. The annual salary tends to be pretty high. Medical fields in general have high demand. And since that is the case, we tend to have really good loan forgiveness opportunities. Now, in this podcast and on my blog at gradmetrics.com, we've discussed public service loan forgiveness before. And public service loan forgiveness continues to be a great forgiveness opportunity for nurses, just like it is for doctors and public servants. But there are other programs out there to help recruit nurses in areas of need. So nursing not only is a great profession in terms of lifetime earnings and annual earnings and growth rate, it also is a great profession in terms of forgiveness and managing your student loan debt. So let's talk about income first. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, Occupational Outlook Handbook talks about nursing as a profession. And in 2020, nursing had an annual salary of $75,330 on average across the nursing professions. Now, of course, you can make a lot more than that annually if you go up the chain in terms of maybe being a nurse practitioner or specializing in some way. And the growth rate on the profession in general is 9%, which is admirable. So again, a really great profession to get into in terms of earning potential. But then let's talk about the loan forgiveness opportunities. So we've already talked about public service loan forgiveness. That certainly is applicable here. But what about other opportunities? Since there is such demand for nurses, we see other opportunities to service that student loan debt. And in particular, one of those opportunities is military, as you might imagine. So Army has a good program, Navy has a good program. Historically, the Air Force has had a good program as well. Now, if you want the links to these programs, you can go to gradmetrics.com, check out the blog posts that I've written on this topic. The Air Force in particular, though, I couldn't find an updated link for their program. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Actually, if you're interested in that program, I would talk with a recruiter. They would have all the updated information on the programs that are available at any given time. Also, don't factor out the reserves. So the reserve units tend to have benefits as well that they dole out in these areas, especially in areas of need. So we have the military. We also have the National Health Service Corps, which has a loan repayment assistance program, a general program. They also have programs that are geared towards substance abuse in rural areas and fighting the opioid pandemic. We also have what's called a Students to Service program, which is specifically for medical professionals who are in their last year of medical training. Then we have HHS, the Health and Human Services. They have a loan repayment program for Indian Health Services. We also have Perkins loans cancellation, which I will say, just as an aside, this probably will not be very applicable to new nurses who are now coming out, because we're actually not issuing Perkins loans anymore as a part of financial aid in the college process. So for those that are new, likely not applicable for you. But if you still have student loans in the form of Perkins loans, they could be forgiven by being a full-time nurse and a medical technician, among other occupations like teaching, for instance. Then, and I would say this across all loan forgiveness programs, don't forget to look at your state. Okay, so I live here in the state of Kansas. We have a great loan repayment program for nurses called the Kansas State Loan Repayment Program. Likely your state has similar programs for in-demand occupations like doctors, nurses, maybe teachers, et cetera. But generally speaking, this is something you want to look at. You might even find some other niche programs that will be applicable, but may not be specifically for your profession. So here in Kansas, we have a loan repayment program for individuals who want to live and work in rural counties. So that might be another opportunity to get additional loans forgiven. So that's a general overview of loan forgiveness opportunities for nurses. Certainly a great profession. Make sure that you're taking advantage of all these programs, all of these programs that would be applicable for you. And as always, reach out if you have any questions.